Hello, everybody. Getting better about getting material together every week for these. But today we're going to talk about indigo souls because I know I've brought it up a couple of times actually in other videos and just on reels and on Instagram and different things. And indigo souls are very much a part of an empath's life. It's pretty much guaranteed that every strong empath is an indigo soul. And so I'm just going to talk briefly about these things. And, these are things that I help find out about people in sessions because I can read people and I can see past lives and I can see the things and the paths that people should be on, if that makes sense. That doesn't mean I can make people follow them. Everybody has their own choices and, you know, can form whatever path they want. But I can help people discover their gifts and harness those gifts. And being an indigo child is one of those. So I'll either say indigo soul or indigo child. It's the same thing. Okay, so an indigo soul. First of all, a lot of them started to be born in the 1970s. So you've got the whole baby boomers. And after that, we started to get enlightenment again on the earth. So I'm not attacking religion, so please don't take it this way. But organized religion, specifically Christianity, because it took over the world more so than like Judaism or Islam, these kinds of things. But those kind of things have taken away enlightenment of people and has taken away knowledge that the people used to have. And that's just a fact. I'm not insulting anybody's religion. It is a fact. So you have to get back to that enlightenment. And after you have people starting to tear down those walls of what society said that we should be back then, well, then you start to have enlightened people be born. So, what exactly is an indigo soul? Well, you can kind of think of it as infinity. And if you want to get into the science of this, you can go look into quantum physics. That will cover infinity for you. But basically, think of it as a spiral. Anytime you see a spiral, that is a symbol of infinity. Our galaxy is also a spiral. It is also a sign of life and the cycles of life. So, being an indigo soul, you are very much aware of these things and these cycles in life. So, you're very much also attuned to astrology um, and the unfolding of time, which is where the spiral comes in. So, there's a few books that I recommend to my clients, and I have them in my session area for people to reference as well. Um, but as far as astrology goes, I am not an astrologer. I do have an astrologer. Astrology is way beyond my forte, and it is definitely not one of my gifts. So, like I said, everybody has different gifts. So, if you don't have the gift of astrology, it would be very wise to get an astrologer and get your chart and pay for that reading, the detailed reading of your chart. That is a very handy thing to have, and it helps guide us through life as well. So the it's also connected astrology wise to the phases in life or the 12 zodiac signs. So it's deeply related to the 12 zodiac signs, how they interact with each other. Um, in different phases in life is represented by the zodiac signs. It's 12, it's 12 months, it's time, it's um, the unfolding of life, those kind of things. So the basic way to understand your indigo soul, you have known it your entire life. You literally work and function. Your your brain thinks differently. You are wired different than everybody else. And there is nothing anybody can do to take those thought processes away from you. You know that they're there. You know that it is right. You know that it comes from something ancient. You're just trying to figure out how to grasp that information and what does it mean and why do I have this and all of that. So, indigo souls are fundamentally different in their inner quality, to their thinking, their heartfulness, which is where the empaths come in. Um, and there's really no possibility for organized religion to be in an indigo child's life. Um, I know, and I have friends that are Christians, and I have friends that go to church, but those indigo souls are also kind of trapped. So that is why I'm saying you cannot be a part of organized religion and embrace yourself fully if you are an indigo soul, because we know that things go above and beyond that. We understand that we are a part of the entire unending universe, and we are literally, a tiny ant in that whole scheme of things as humans. And we understand that as humans, we are no better or no different than any other creature on this planet, any living thing on this planet. I don't care if you're talking about a blade of grass. Okay, we understand that we are no different than any other living thing in the universe, no matter what that is. We are all life. We are all energy. We all continue on. And so, as an indigo soul, you have an innate, it's stuck in there of, this heaven, hell, sin, right, wrong, those kinds of things. We've just never understood that. And you're never going to, because it just doesn't work like that. So you just have this, it's in you, it is part of your core. And those are things that I explore in session. Some of the things that have happened throughout people's lives as indigo souls, um, that lead them up to the knowledge that they are one, um, the different trials and expectations and just life, and helping them understand that and to deal with those things, because indigo souls have, you cannot and will not stop just being yourself. We do not care what people think. We are the weird people on the street that just go dancing and skipping down the street because we have a song in our head, and we do not care what people think. Period. So indigo, you have this innate ability to see things beyond the scope of what people say is reality. You see everything. And the more you embrace your gifts, the more you embrace yourself, the more that you see. So, as a psychic, as an empath, as anything, whatever your gifts are, the more that you embrace them and grow them, the more gifts you'll find out that you have, the more things you'll find out that you can do. So, these things are very important to keep working on those gifts. And that's what I do in session. I help find those gifts for people that are blocked off to it, because let's face it, life and specifically humans block people off from what they truly are. Okay. So, and we do that in session a lot with Reiki. Um, we can do it with meditation, and I can just full on read people. So I go by whatever my client's comfort level is during session. Okay. So there are a few things, and I've got a list here just to make sure that I did not miss any of these. So Indigo souls, you're connected to the rhythm of your inner self, period. You cannot get away from that rhythm. Other rhythms might come in and start joining your rhythm and adding a beat and doing these things, and other rhythms, other energies are just like floating on by. You just let them float on by. You know your inner self, and you cannot get away from that. Indigo souls are literally the people that think outside of the box and change the world. That's who we are. We are not the sheep kind of people. We're not the kind of people that are content to go to work every day and do the same thing every day and go to work for somebody else and have this monotonous life. That's not us at all. So there's a few things, characteristics that all indigos have. So, and these are kind of listed out in the form of gifts, but vision. So you have always had the ability to see things different and in a loving way instead of with anger, with war, with the traditional way that people in society tells you that things need to be done. We've never seen things like that. We think war is pointless because it is, right? We see things way outside of the box. I'm talking like the bigger picture vision. That's what you see. And you have an innate sense of truth. So you have this, it's intuitive, it is part of your core. You're an empath, you can read people, you know the truth. Don't ever question it. If you have to question, if you are questioning anything, it is not a good situation. Period. Okay, you have this constant need to grow. You're never satisfied with staying still. You always want to learn something new. You always want to work different jobs. You want to work for yourself. You want to help people. You want to get out there. You want to be present. Indigo souls are not satisfied just having a mundane blah life. Most indigo souls do not wish for that. Oh, you grow up and you that's what you do is get married and have kids and go find the house. No. We're like, no. Mm-mm. We've always been like, no, I don't think so. It doesn't have to be done that way. Okay. So endless need to grow. You're obviously hypersensitive. Sensitivity, indigo souls, and being an empath go hand in hand. And I've talked about this in other videos. That heightened sensitivity can be crippling emotionally. So those are things that I work on in session with empaths as well, because those things are super hard to get through. Anything that for the normal person would be sad, it's almost soul crushing to an empath because we feel everything. And you are very sensitive to the earth as well. So you're not just sensitive to people and animals, you're sensitive to every living thing. So the earth is a living thing. So, like, for instance, me, I live in earthquake territory. We haven't had an earthquake where I live for quite a long time, but it is very, very slight. But I always feel the movements in the earth. And most people that I'm around cannot feel them, but some of my psychic friends can. So they are very in tune to the earth, like me. So there goes other gifts. So you're very sensitive to everything. And you're very holistic in your thought processes. You want to heal constantly. You want to make things better constantly. You want to be worth something because you know that you have the ability to make things better. You know that you are an outside thinker. You know that this is not right the way that things are being done. So it can get very frustrating and depressing and debilitating when indigos find themselves in positions of feeling stuck. are feeling worthless, then you get the depression sets in and those kinds of things. Um, but then we've got the heartfulness. And that heartfulness is literally the thing that keeps you connected to your gifts, to the universe, to the bigger whatever it is. Okay. I call it the universe just because I look at everything as a living thing. So, whatever bigger things, you cannot be connected to any of that if you do not live in heartfulness. So, like, there's, that saying, you choose what to do with your life. You do. Everybody goes through absolute total crap in life. You choose what to do with that crap. Unfortunately, that crap is dished out to us by other humans. Like, life just will give you things on its own, nature, floods, whatever. But humans cause the most damage, period. So it's important to stay connected to your heartfulness and not shut it off, because there are sensitives that are born and then go through extremely abusive situations. Well, then if you get into the mode of let's turn it off because I don't want to feel that way ever again, something has hurt me, I'm going into fight or flight, and you're going to turn it off. You start to turn it off, you'll become a narcissist. You start to turn things off, you start to shut things down because you don't want to feel it, you will start to lose your gifts. Well, I can't say lose, they're still there, but they will be dimmed, they will be dormant, and then you'll just start to feel crappier because you're not embracing your true self. And that is when that doesn't jive, you feel off, really off. So don't shut it off as much as it hurts. You got to just keep feeling it and just be really particular about who you let in your life. I mean, really particular. They have to earn it every single second that they are with you, just like you should earn it every single second that you're with somebody else. I do the same thing for my animals. I do the same thing for every living thing. Don't take things for granted. Okay. And indigos. Oh, yeah. Life is never a one size fits all, ever, for anybody. So I'm really sorry to, uptight conservative people. It's just not. My life is not conducive to anybody else's life, just like their life is not my life. So keep constantly opening yourself to new ideas and new notions. Nothing is untrue, nothing is impossible. Investigate it for yourself, no matter what it is. Okay, moving on. I'm almost done. The purpose of indigo souls. So everybody has a purpose on this earth, and everybody's trying to find that purpose, and it gets all convoluted, and then people end up going to look in cults and all these other kinds of group activity things to try to find their purpose. You do not need any kind of group activity, any things to find your purpose on this earth. Your purpose on this earth for every single person is to be a good person. Period. That's all you have to do. That's all you have to do. Okay, so your sole purpose, like every other human being, is to bring love and happiness and change. So it starts with you just wanting to make a difference. You might get restless. You might have like light depression setting in when you feel like you can't get things going. Trust me, I go through that a lot. It's hard. It is really hard. And you get very down on yourself. You're very, sorry, I have classes to teach and I have alarms. So you get very down on yourself when you can't get things going. Okay. Work in a place that indigos do not like the common job. So you've got to find Unfortunately, this world is run by money, and we can't get away from these greedy corporate people. So here we are. So you have to find a way to make money in a way that soothes you and makes you happy. So keep fighting for it. It's very hard for indigo souls, any kind of psychic, anybody to work in like metaphysical type jobs or healing jobs, um, because you don't get paid a lot for it. And that's okay because you're here to help. It shouldn't be like this giant career, expect to make millions kind of thing. If that is your goal in life, you're not in the right headspace for this at all. So that gets really hard, but you need to find a way to incorporate those things because that is what makes indigos whole, is making a difference. So whatever you have to do to get out there and hustle and help people, you have to pay it forward all the time. That is your that's your sole purpose on this earth. So your purpose is to be a transformer, a truth teller, a lover. Okay. You hold on to higher frequencies and you gain higher and higher and higher frequencies of energy and knowledge the more you engage and seek out those things. So anything that you seek out, it could be negative, it could be positive. That's up to you. But seeking higher energies to help heal yourself, to help heal the world, to give the world knowledge and truth is very important. So, no matter how you get that out there, and at least in today's age, we have the internet. I know everybody and their dog is on the internet making videos or reels or whatever to get everybody's attention. So, it's hard to get noticed there too. But just keep doing it because your message needs to get out there, period. And just remember the more you open yourself to things, the more you are going to learn as well. So the more you're going to have to be able to share with the rest of the world to try to help. And it gets very frustrating knowing like you have this information, but nobody's listening, right? And just like it's maddening. But you can't make people listen. You can only just sit here and be like, nobody listens to me ever. But it's hard because you do know those things and you do have higher insight into the massive big scheme of things. And that massive big scheme of things, it does not just involve this earth, does not just involve humans. It involves everything, everything, down to the tiniest bit of matter, everything. So once you start embracing these things, reflecting on these things, meditating on these things, asking the universe to give you more knowledge on these things, that will help you get a better understanding of why do I think so differently? I do not think like anybody else. I never have. Even when I was a child, I have always said things that are completely bizarre to other people. Um, and I see things and I know things years before other humans come to that knowledge. So like quantum physics and infinity, I have literally seen spirals in quantum physics in my head my entire life. I cannot do the math of it because I am horrible at math. It's so weird, but I can see it. And I know how it works because I can see it. So, like those things. And now those things are coming out to light. So, these are the things that I explore in session with people. And just always remember that I can do these sessions over Zoom. I can remote view. So, local to me to come to session. And I work with anybody's budget. So don't worry about that. If I feel like I'm being taken advantage of, I let people know. And then, you know, and kids are always free because we have a lot of psychic kids running around that need help. So, and parents are always there. I don't want anybody trying to make it sound like something weird's going on. So, keep holding and living and remembering those there are new and better ways of being and existing. Find those and spread those. That is your purpose in life. Your purpose in life is to love and teach others how to love. The world needs it if you can't tell. And that it's really hard because anger speaks a lot louder than love. Love is subtle, but it is a lot more powerful. So just remember that. And I do not make the best professional videos because I am a psychic, not a video editor. So we have some alarms and things, but I have a very busy life. But the info is out there and you have it. So book your sessions. All the stuff is in the links, and I will see everybody soon. Great session.